Hello all and welcome to All Red. Well, what happens now? What is next for Liverpool Football Club? After we have now crashed out of the Champions League and we've lost the Carabao Cup final in the span of a week. What do we look forward to? What is going to happen with Liverpool Football Club over the next several months? Well, I'm going to break that down. I've got three main things to toss your way for us Liverpool fans, because this is a channel that is all Liverpool all the time. It's all red. Please hit that like button and consider subscribing as we continue to cover the best club in the world. We still are the best club in the world. I truly believe that. All right, so what now? What is next for Liverpool Football Club? Well, first and foremost, we now have, for the first time this season, a single focus, right? One competition. That's all we're in, and it's the Premier League, of course. FA Cup, no longer in. Champions League, obviously we're out of, and the Carabao Cup final has happened. It is done and dusted. It is over with. And now Liverpool go back to the Premier League with a 12-point lead, which is just insane. Just absolutely insane. But it is not over. It is not over. I'm not comfortable saying that yet, because I'm going to show you the breakdown historically why I don't think this is over. Okay. So first and foremost, we need to look at the positive here. So it did take Jurgen Klopp about a year or so to understand the demanding nature of the English football season in its entirety. Okay? When thinking about the Champions League exit, the Carabao Cup final loss, the fact that we were in the Carabao Cup final, the fact that we have a 12-point lead in the Premier League in Arne Slot's first season is just insane. Arne Slot did himself a disservice by getting all of our expectations up so high, right? Like a week ago, we were still dreaming of the treble. We were in Arne Slot's first season. It's insane. But I think Arne Slot is now experiencing that same learning curve that Jurgen Klopp needed to learn in his first season or first full year to year and a half in English football. It's a big learning curve. Now, the difference is that Arne Slot might actually win the league in his first period of adjustment, his first year in the Premier League with Liverpool, which is just absolutely insane. Now, I have a big question mark on that, because I am not saying the league is over. I'm not saying that Liverpool's name is already etched on the Premier League trophy, because if you look at this graphic, this is actually scary. Okay, this was last season under Jurgen Klopp, which, of course, same batch of players, and we had kind of the same thing happen last year. We crashed out of the FA Cup. We lost in the Champions League. Last year it was the Europa League. And we won the Carabao Cup final by, the thinnest of margins. But then we just died. We crashed out of the Premier League title race. And this is why right here. Look at this. So bottom to top, starting on April 7th, with Manchester United, it was a terrible 2-2 draw, and we dropped 2 points. Then we lost to Crystal Palace at home. That's 5 points dropped total. Then we beat Fulham. Then we lost to Everton away. That's 8 points dropped in the span of 4 games. Then we drew with West Ham. That's 10 points dropped in the span of 5 games. Then we beat Spurs. Then we drew with Aston Villa on May the 13th. That's 12 points dropped in just 7 matches. So, in the final 8 matches of last season, we dropped 12 points. What is our cushion right now? 12 points. This Premier League season is not over, because this strength of schedule right here, last season, is about the same of what we have this season, except we have to play Arsenal. We have to face Arsenal at home. And I hope that there is not still a question mark of, when Arsenal come to Anfield, if that is a big game of any measure, if that has any bearing on, this is going to decide the title, that is scary. That is very scary to think about. Now, I'm not trying to be a downer, but I looked at this today and I was shocked. I was like, we really dropped 12 points in 7 matches at the end of last season? Wow. And this is the same group of players, guys. This is the same group of players. And honestly, we have a stubborn manager right now who continues to play the same exact starting 11 in every game, even though it's not working. Okay, so we need to rotate the squad. It's like, what's next? Rotate the squad, Arne. Do it. Please rotate the squad. Get these guys in. Every time you put Harvey Elliott in the game, he makes a big impact. Okay? He scores a goal, big assists. You put Chiesa in the end of that game against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup final. What does he do? He absolutely changes the game. Won 4 out of 4 duels. Obviously, he scored the goal. Assisted by Harvey Elliott. Hello. Ching chong, hello. Hello, Arne. Can you please rotate the squad? We know what Endo has done when he comes into the games. So, rotate the squad, Arne Slot, please. All right, number 2. After we hopefully secure the Premier League, it's not done yet, but hopefully we do that. It's time to plan ahead. What will Arne Slot and Richard Hughes do at the end of the season, in the summer? Big question marks. My goodness, are there question marks? We still have 3 contracts that are still up in the air. I had once thought that Salah and Van Dijk were already signed, and maybe they were just not wanting to put pressure on Trent, so they hadn't announced it yet. I don't know how I feel about that now. Honestly, I just have more questions after the last week, in particular with what Virgil van Dijk has said. And then there's the case of, are there players that need to go, and are there players that need to come in? And I think that's a yes to both of those questions. And so hopefully Arne Slot and Richard Hughes can now, with, hey, we're in one competition for the rest of the season for the most part, except for maybe 1 week. I think there's 1 match a week. So train hard, and then Arne Slot and Richard Hughes, maybe you stay late a little bit, an extra night or 2 of the week, and start planning ahead. Okay, maybe start typing up those contracts. We need to get out of phase 0. Here's what I think. I think we're actually still in phase 0 of the Arne Slot era. And I believe that because Arne Slot really, apart from tactics, has not put his stamp on this team yet. They've signed 1 player, and it was Chiesa, and Marmadashvili hasn't even come in yet. So I think we're still in phase 0. It's almost like the preface of a book. We haven't even gotten to chapter 1 yet of the Arne Slot era. And the cool thing about that is we are hopefully going to win our 20th Premier League title, right? And that's special. That's really special. It's the one we all wanted. It's the one that everybody voted for at the beginning of this season. That's the one we want to win. Nobody thought we'd win it this season, except for a couple people. But that's the one we wanted, and we're in line to get it. We just need to finish the job. Now, the third thing is Liverpool just need to do the right thing. They just need to do the right thing. Make the best decisions for the club. And that means, I think, going out and spending this summer. I really do. We got to stop doing this beating around the bush, tiptoeing around players, signing, an £8 million player, or signing somebody for the future, bringing them in, loaning them out. We need to stop doing that. It's time to invest in this club. It's time to invest in this squad. And I am not an FSG outer. I have not forgotten the summer of 2 years ago when we completely revamped our entire midfield in one window. I have not forgotten that, because that has brought fruitful results, I think, so far with McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Endo. Incredible window. But it's been 2 years since we've done that. And it is time to invest. I think it's time to let go as well. I think it's time to let go of some of these players. I'm not going to name names, but I'm hopeful that Arne Slot and Richard Hughes and maybe Michael Edwards have identified some key players currently in the squad that it's time to move on from. And I just want to see FSG make the right decisions, make the best decisions for Liverpool Football Club, because I think it's time to invest. So that's what I think. That's what I think is next for Liverpool. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, up the Reds.